This year's film festival theme will be dystopia, environment, alienation, and isolation. The films shown at the festival will all give a different outlook on different types of dystopias, switching between climate change disasters, isolated people, and scary technological advancements, which are all topics we are now battling within society. It will involve 11 different films, with at its core the film Red Desert, also known as Il Deserto Rosso, directed by Michelangelo Antonioni. Red Desert is a film released in 1964 and was picked as the core film of this film festival due to the fact that it touches upon the themes environment, as well as alienation and isolation, and is a great example for a dystopian film without too many special effects trying to create a dystopian setting. The dystopian side of the film mainly relies on its narratives, which delve into the protagonist, her husband, petrochemical plant, and its pollution, but also through the forced quarantine due to an infectious disease, which we can all relate to by now because of the pandemic, and Giuliana's feelings of separation and isolation. Into the Wild is a film directed by Sean Penn and was released in 2007. This is a great film when it comes to showcasing the ups and downs of isolation. We follow Chris after he decides to flee from his home, family, and his own reality. He has to suffer through all kinds of hardships while mostly being by and relying on himself. Seconds is a film directed by John Frankenheimer and was released in 1966. This film is a great horror addition to the program and still has a science fiction vibe to it because of the scary medical advancements shown throughout the film. The isolation and alienation are made clear through the willingness of somber people to want to do everything it takes to be reborn. The Road is a film directed by John Hillcoat and was released in 2009. It takes place right after an extinction event, which clearly showcases a dystopia. This film is perfect for action lovers and will have you on your toes throughout the entire watch. Lost in Translation is a film by Sofia Coppola and was released in 2003. This film is a typical rom-com which follows Bob Harris, played by Bill Murray, and Charlotte, played by Scarlett Johansson, and their experience as American expats in Tokyo. They feel alienated due to the culture shock and language barrier that they experience over there. Dark Waters is a film directed by Todd Haynes and was released in 2019. It highlights the dystopian side of capitalism and the power of large corporations and their willingness to make money while hurting our environment and people in the process of making profits. Even when obtaining piles of evidence, lawyer Robert, played by Mark Ruffalo, his concerns about the human safety aren't heard over the amount of money the businesses use to silence this cry for help. Melancholia is a film by Lars von Trier and was released in 2011. Besides the film's beautiful aesthetics, the film does a really good job at portraying the different takes people might have in a case of a possible end of the world looming over us. The two sisters in the film both have very different reactions to the nearby apocalypse. THX 1138 is a film directed by George Lucas, whom we know from the Star Wars movies. This film was his feature film debut and was released in 1971. THX 1138 is set in a world where everyone has been stripped from feelings and emotions, and sex and reproduction are prohibited. The people are given codes instead of names, they are isolated and alienated from each other, and live in a blank environment stripped from any sort of decor which could make you feel at home. The Skin I Live In is a film directed by the well-known Pedro Almodovar and was released in 2011. The film clearly shows the alienation of the victim of our protagonist, who is a plastic surgeon and uses the victim as a test subject in order to create a protective skin. The victim has also been kept from the world and has been missing for decades, which ties into the isolation side of the festival's theme. Ready Player One is a film by the legendary director Steven Spielberg and was released in 2018. This more recent film is set in the future where virtual reality is even more advanced than it is now, and it's used as a way for poor people living in a true dystopia to imagine a world where life would be better and where they don't have to focus on the reality of the current state of the world. Snowpiercer is a film directed by Bong Joon-ho and was released in 2013. It fits very well with the theme of the festival due to the fact that it is about a world where the environment has been messed up, classes of people are divided throughout the train, which isolates them from each other, and the lower classes are alienated and seen as unworthy of a comfortable life. As you can tell, the festival has a broad program, meaning there is something to watch for everybody. We cannot wait to see you at the festival and hope you are as excited as we are.